Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at a report from CNN in regards to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear facility. CNN claims that Russia is shelling or firing missiles at the nuclear plant or making false flags. So let's get into it.
Hybrid warfare on steroids, those are the words that Western officials are using to describe the situation right now at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine. It is the largest nuclear complex in all of Europe. Now, Vladimir Putin.
Okay, her opening statement is that Western officials are claiming that it is a hybrid warfare on steroids. Let's have a look at that. Right, we Google search hybrid warfare on steroids and nothing comes up. Nothing about Russia, nothing about Ukraine. So it's her opening statement's just a throwaway line. It's sensationalism. It's not journalism, and it's fake. So her second one was that Zaporizhzhia power plant is the largest in Europe. That is correct. She's 100% right. It's the largest in Europe, and probably it's in the top 10 in the world. So let's move on.
Putin has claimed that the Ukrainian military was shelling their own plant in the middle of their own country.
Okay, her next statement is President Putin. Of course, it's always President Putin instead of the Russian Ministry of Defense or anything like that. Is shelling its own plant in its own country. Unfortunately, when we look at it, the Ukrainian news agencies were reporting that Russia took control on March the 2nd. So Russia's in control of this whole area. Now, the Russian media, Interfax, which is not pro-Russian, it's quite independent. They have some journalists who criticize President Putin. So it's not a bad if you want to have a look at some Russian news. Interfax is quite good. Again, on the 28th, they claim that the Russian armed forces had taken control of the power plant. So her claim that, Russia is claiming that Ukraine is shelling or firing on its own nuclear power plant in its own country. Well, they don't control it. Russia does. That's a fact. So she's being disingenuous by not telling you the whole story. And this is what they do. They chop little bits out.
But new satellite images, it may not surprise you, show that there are no signs of systematic shelling at all. A senior U.S. defense official says Russia has shown a, quote, complete disregard for the plant's security, calling it the height of irresponsibility.
Okay. Her next statement is that we've got satellite image. Well, when was it taken? If you've already lied in the beginning of your whole, report, and you've left out important bits of information that Russia controls the plant and area around it, why would I trust you giving me a blurry image? Give me some facts, not just an image. I can give you an image. If you want, here we go. Where is it? Google Earth. Here we are, Zaporizhzhia. There's an image of Zaporizhzhia, and it was done in, I'm even showing you the date, which was 2022. There's the plant. There's no signs of shelling there. But we've got something over here. I could say that was a rocket launched and fired on, It's an image. It's not showing me anything.
few weeks, Russian troops have been using a location or locations very, very close, if not inside, then very much next to the nuclear power station to shell across the river using rockets, shell the town of Nikopol. They've killed 13 people there. I was in a village a couple of days ago.
Okay, now he's just claimed that Russia has artillery and missile systems inside the power plant or near it. Now, these missile systems and rocket launchers are much larger than showing any damage to the plant. But she showed us this image. She didn't say, but see, look, there's the Russian the artillery. There's the Russian tanks. There's the Russian... She didn't show any of that. So their whole two narratives don't work with each other. One saying that new imagery shows no damage. The other one says, Russia has artillery inside or around the plant. Well, then the new imagery would show that. But again, it doesn't, and she doesn't mention it. She just leaves that one out. Again, bad reporting.
Killed people there, injured people and destroyed some villages, houses, not whole villages, excuse me, in a number of areas that have...
This reporter is really struggling with his words. He's just making statements. He's giving no evidence. He's giving nothing, not value adding to anything inside the whole situation.
Within range of these Russian shells. The Russians have claimed that the Ukrainians have been hitting back, but now this latest satellite imagery indicates very, very clearly, as far as CNN's analysis of it goes, that
as far as CNN's analysis of it goes. In other words, we just looked at it. We didn't go in too tight. We didn't really show anything. We just showed I could have pulled this on Google Earth. It's just, it's bizarre. It's made for domestic audience. Let's just keep going.
There has been no significant increase in the damage to Russian locations and Russian-held locations around that nuclear power station for a month. So that really gives the lie to the...
Okay, so now he's claiming there's been no damage for over a month. Well, we can go on to some now this is a Ukrainian website here. This is Ukrainian, UA. And it's showing, and now this is just on a month. This is just on a month. They were celebrating both now. First of all, they claim that positions of Russian occupiers near the Zaporizhzhia power plant using kamikaze drones. A tent camp and equipment of the enemy were hit, including a car and an anti-aircraft gun and a BM-21 Grad. Now, according to reports. Now, that's according to reports. Now, I assume the Grad, if you know what a Grad looks like. So there's a Grad. It's got rockets on the back, and they're all nicely painted, really dark green. However, this truck here, which is inside the facility, and we know that because you see all these sprayers here, and we've got these, I'd say, pumping stations that is pumping out to these sprayers. And there they are. And if we zoom out, there's the nuclear plant. It's well inside the nuclear plant. What they actually are, I'm not sure. Oh, it took me over there. I didn't want to go over there. But you can see quite clearly that truck sitting in here somewhere in between some of these pumping stations or whatever. And you'll see from their footage, they shot it. I'd say it looks more like a dump truck to me. It's very orange. They then go on, just music on this video. Now this is a tent, a little tent city. And I would assume by what we're looking at is that we've got some wiring fences. I would say it's on the edge of the nuclear power plant. And
Це Україна.
There we go. They're dropping bombs. By all accounts, it was a bomb, or no, sorry, a kamikaze drone was used. We get that from this company here, we get this from this company here that it was kamikaze.
Russian positions close to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant have been attacked by Ukrainian forces. Kamikaze drones used by the Ukrainian military were used to assault the enemy tent camp in Enerhodar, a town close to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant.
Now they're saying a town close to, you've got these double wire fences. That's high security around, I would say, the nuclear power plant. So again,
UAV, the work's results were viewed. The military was also successful in destroying.
Now, there we go. There's the sprinklers. So it is within the nuclear power plant. So the narrative that Ukraine hasn't been bombing this place. Their own media shows they have been. This one, and they've cut out, you can see in the corner here, there's the sprinklers. But this one, this person didn't actually take the sprinklers out. So, and here's the little one of the pumping sheds. So it's where it is, I'm not sure. Let's just go out a bit. It looks like it's probably down here or up in this area here. Now there's a road. So, there's the buildings. Okay, we've found it. Oops, why do you want to take me over there? There's the buildings. I would assume it's right in here. That's where they're keeping it. There's some buildings or just in here because there's buildings around where they are. So very interesting. The person who posted it on Rumble, shouldn't have put the sprinklers in. Should have cut it down lower like the Ukrainians did. So they have been bombing it. That's not in dispute. Let's get back to our interview.
The latest statement coming from the Russian president, which, according to the Kremlin, read out the phone call with the French president, Emmanuel Macron, in which Vladimir Putin used the term the systematic shelling and the systematic attacks being conducted by Ukraine. So that.
Well, yeah, we've just shown that Ukraine media is saying that they've shelled it, but they're saying they shelled near it. They cut back part of it to try and take those sprinklers out, but someone took out the wide angle and left it there and shows quite clearly they're shelling the nuclear power plant, right? Let's not split hairs here. Russia controls the nuclear power plant, right? The imagery that we see of the actual what they claim is a kamikaze drone, right, is hitting the nuclear power plant.
That has been proven to be untrue, but it is on the front line. It is.
So he's saying that, let's just back that up a bit.
An extremely vulnerable location being conducted by Ukraine. So that has been proven to be untrue, but it is on the front line. It is an extremely vulnerable location.
Okay, he's saying that it's untrue that they're shelling it, but he's saying it is on the front line and it is in a vulnerable position. Yes, of course it is.
And on top of that, and Macron is the latest person to draw attention to this, there are deep concerns about potential Russian plans to reroute electricity from the Ukrainian network into one controlled by Russia. That is fraught with technical issues.
Okay, now the claim that Russia is going to steal the electricity coming out, the generation. This narrative has been coming out from the West, and there is no evidence of it. No one. All you get is these so-called journalists or investigators who just make statements. There's no, there's no power blackouts. It's not as though if they're stealing it and taking it away from Ukraine, then there'd be no power in Ukraine. And the Ukrainian people would be going, hang on a minute, we're not getting power. There's none of that. It's just statements. Stop making opinions and give facts.
Issues that could also cause a disaster, Eric.
All right.
We all want a smarter and greener world, which is why...
Okay. To finish off, her report was very, very poor. She gave virtually no factual information. She didn't back it up with any sort of evidence. The one thing that she said which was true was that Zaporizhzhia is the largest nuclear facility in Europe. Unfortunately, CNN, I'd have to give you a 1 out of 10 because it was it was perfect propaganda. That is, you could look at that and go, that is perfect propaganda. We just tell you what we want to tell you. We don't give you any evidence. We show you some blurry footage of a nuclear plant saying there's no damage. Can you see from that, was there damage or not? Could you see if any missiles? But then the same thing, you gave no evidence that there was military artillery or anything there, but you claim you've got the newest satellite image. The correspondent supposedly on the ground is probably in Poland or somewhere, or sitting in Germany, who knows. He just made statements, and most of them he was making massive errors. Oh, they've destroyed a city or a town. Oh, no, a couple of houses. They killed, oh, no, they injured people. Get it right. You're paid to do this. I'm not paid to do this. They're paid to do this. So, look, again, leave some comments. By the way, I got some interesting comments on my one on Boneface. Boneface actually left some comments, and I must say, look, he got offended that I've got too many tabs up the top of my screen. So if that's offending anyone, please, I'm sorry, but I like my tabs so I can go through different articles and it's easier to find. So I'm not going to stop doing that, Boneface. It's just something that I do. I had another person who threatened, if I don't pull down all my information, they're going to release my criminal history or something. Who knows? It's just another crazy person. And as a good journalist always say, if they're attacking you, you're doing your job right. So to all you out there, by all means, leave a comment. I hope you enjoy the day. Again, this is a critique. We don't want to infringe on anyone's copyright, but we're just doing a critique on what media is saying, whether it's in the West, whether it's in the East. And to be able to disseminate, okay, what they say and what the real facts are. Because they're not giving you the facts, they're just telling you opinion pieces. So to all of you, have a lovely day. I hope your family and yourself stay safe and well. Until next time, bye for all.